What's up, Cities Skylines 2 enthusiasts? Welcome back to Dev Talks. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Traffic AI Dev Diary. We're going to be reacting to it and also breaking it down. My name is Flyvox, but I'm not alone. With me is Joy Builds Cities. Hello, Joy. Are you excited about this as well as I am?
I am so excited. I cannot wait, and I'm glad that this time we didn't have to wait. Like, this just came out, so we're getting to watch right away, which is so exciting.
100%. And I would say, without further ado, let's watch.
People are the lifeblood of your city. As they move through it, they set the city's pulse. Not in the
I love all the lights in the buildings.
but with the
Wow.
ability and pace of a real city. So you should expect the same
at
order and
that.
chaos that emerges when countless individual decisions are made all at once.
It's so every time I look at this.
It's so beautiful.
Never seen before.
Yeah.
And it's powered by the deep simulation of traffic AI. How people move from A to B in your city is called pathfinding. Previously, pathfinding meant choosing the shortest route by distance.
Oh.
But ignoring factors like travel time and traffic congestion was less than ideal. Pathfinding has changed. In Cities Skylines 2, 4 main factors influence how people move through your city. These factors are called pathfinding costs. People weigh up these costs to decide where to go and how to get there.
What?
The path with the
Fascinating.
lowest cost is the path they choose. But how
Wow.
people weigh up these costs is very different. To help you understand, let's walk through the 4 pathfinding costs.
Oh my god.
This is so
Time
cool.
is usually the most important
Look at that
pathfinding
car.
cost. Everyone will pick their quickest route to their destination if they can. Comfort is another pathfinding cost. Who doesn't want a smooth journey? Wouldn't you avoid tricky intersections if you could? The availability, convenience, and cost of parking will now impact where people choose to go and how to get there.
Oh my
Really?
god.
Easy parking is actually the deciding factor for
Look at
some
that.
people when choosing where to socialize and spend their money.
What?
That's another pathfinding cost. Money. Fuel, parking, and public transport
Yo,
tickets
what?
can seriously add up. So it's a factor in where people choose to go and how
Does that
to
mean
get
we're gonna have
there.
gas stations?
The final
Does
factor
that mean we're gonna have
influencing
gas stations?
pathfinding
Oh my
is
God.
behavior, or how likely people are to engage in risky maneuvers on the road. U-turns, lane hopping, and
Oh.
speeding can reduce travel times, lower fuel consumption, and avoid some of the inconvenient aspects of travel. To keep pathfinding costs
Wow.
low,
That
people
is
will
so
reroute
amazing.
if
Oh
something
my
happens on their
freaking god.
journey. For example, if they get caught behind a traffic
I
accident,
Look at the
can't
traffic
even-
accident.
long to
Look
clear,
at
they'll find
it.
another
Made
way
a
to get where they're
Yui.
going.
It made a
on.
Yui.
Traffic accident?
There was someone with purple hair on the road. Look at that.
So, drivers
Oh no,
can
don't
lose
crash.
control and crash
Oh
their
my-
vehicles into
Oh, this is
traffic
gonna
and
stress me out. I don't
buildings.
want anyone to get
Yikes.
hurt.
You see,
Oh,
things like
no.
wet roads, extreme weather events, and the time of day can increase the risk of a collision.
Wow.
But it's actually
No
poor
way.
road conditions that should keep you awake at night. Want to reduce the risk of serious mishaps? Send your road maintenance crew out ASAP. Traffic AI has improved pathfinding so much that you can now grow a larger population. But remember, a big population
Wow.
brings opportunities and challenges. 2 info views can help you plan and react when life takes a left turn. Traffic info
Oh,
view
cool.
takes the guesswork out of traffic management. It delivers a real-time overview of how much traffic is on your road network and traffic,
And
so you can resolve
parking.
problems quickly.
Oh my god,
Deep
yes.
simulation transforms the movement of people, goods, and services through your city into the pulsing reality of a living, breathing city. But how
This-
people choose
I-
their path? That is always a response to the
Look,
world around them.
I mean,
a world
stop.
of your creation.
Wow.
Can't.
This is what? Oh my god, what was that? That was so amazing. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Initial thoughts, amazing. Truly amazing. But oh my god, let's go in for a deep dive. Let's go and break it down.
Yes, let's.
Alright, Joey, now that we have had time to watch the video and go through the PDF file, let's rewatch and let's see what we can break down.
I'm so excited.
All right, first of all, the point that stood out to me in the beginning, right? The pathfinding that completely changed in Cities 2. Whereas in Cities Skylines, the citizens or the AI would take the fastest legal route to the destination, and it would be predetermined before the citizens started their journey. Whereas in Cities 2, the citizens take multiple factors into account, and they can also adjust their route based on events along the way, which I think is really insane.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see. And they called this like 4 cost points. So there was the money, the time, and the comfort, and like something about like behavior. That was really interesting.
That is so true. Obviously, time, right? So the fastest or the quickest way, the quickest route is the most attractive, but that's not everything they take into account, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, and it also looks like from what is written in the Dev Diary is that teenagers will prefer whatever is the cheapest option. Adults will go for whatever is the most time saving, and then senior citizens will go with whatever is the smoothest or the easiest, the most comfort. So I think it's also really neat in our city that these different ages are going to have different behaviors as they travel through the cities and which path that they take, which I think is fascinating.
100%. And I love the fact that comfort takes into account like unnecessary turns at intersections, also like suitable parking spots.
Yeah.
Whereas like money, of course, is, also very interesting because it takes like the fuel usage into account and potential parking fees. So you really, as the player, you have so much control over the pathfinding as well if you take all of these points into account for your city building.
I know, it's really exciting. And the fact that money is in there and gas cost does make me think that we're going to have functioning gas stations that citizens will stop at, which is something I think we've all wanted in the game. So that's really cool.
Oh, that would be really amazing, 100%. The route that the citizens choose is the lowest cost of all of these 4 cost points combined together. As long as you think about that, I don't think you should have any problems with traffic in your city, right?
For sure. And it also looks like cargo traffic is also taking into account these cost points.
Yeah.
And if you have a longer distance, that's going to be not great for the businesses who are using that cargo. And I wonder how that is all going to come into play when we are building our industry areas and thinking about things like rail and all of that. So I think it's just this whole thing, and we're going to dive in a little bit deeper, but like it's just added another level of complexity and excitement and challenge to the game that I think everyone is going to find so exciting. I know I am.
Me too, for sure. And I think it adds another level of realism. It's a city building simulation, and it adds so much more realism. The citizens taking a variety of points into account for their route selection instead of just, going the fastest legal route, no matter if there's traffic or how many turns they have to take. I think that's so amazing. What I also loved is that in Cities 2, that the vehicles or the citizens actually use multiple lanes. I think that is so great.
No. It's going to be so good. Because how many times do we set up like a freeway or a 6-lane road and all the traffic is in the right-hand lane and that's it? It's like, no.
Yeah. Exactly. I love that they're actually occupying all the lanes that are available to get to their destination. This is really cool. And also, I love that this in-depth pathfinding solution has them readjusting their route multiple times on their journey to avoid stuff like a packed lane or a traffic jam in general, or even a car accident for that matter. I think that is so cool, and again, adds so much more realism to the game and how the citizens or the AI behaves.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. And the other thing that was in the Dev Diary is like something with roundabouts, is that vehicles will choose to like cut in front of other vehicles, be a bad driver, and that might lead to more accidents. Like we're not going to have cars that are just doing what they're supposed to do. We're going to have vehicles that are trying to get to their destination first, just like we deal with in real cities. So, we might have some not so nice drivers in our cities. I don't know.
It's very possible. Yeah, but that's like dangerous behavior, right? And then again, is this behavior cost point that we already talked about. The more dangerous it gets, like it can produce car accidents. And that is something that's really, really interesting to me, how that is going to play out. However, yeah, that's not everything that can produce accidents, right? Because it's like based on road conditions, the lighting, how much a citizen can see or driver can see apparently, and of course the weather conditions, like if there's heavy rain, that can also cause even more accidents, which I thought, again, realism is like, wow.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting too. And I love that they're factoring in lighting conditions. You know, something with CS1 is I very rarely play at night. I just like to build in the day when I can see things clearly. But the fact that all this is really going to have a real impact on how we play the game, I think taking the time to really make sure your areas are well lit at night. Like I know some players do now, but now it's actually going to be really important to the functioning of the city. Again, it's just adding another layer of complexity, and it's going to be, again, just making the game more fun to play.
Yeah, 100%. I think so too. Only this traffic accident feature I think is so interesting that even the game just like randomly selects. That's what it says in the PDF file, right? That it randomly selects a vehicle and then it just like it pushes it off the road or like into a random direction, and that's what causes the vehicle to lose control, and then just collision physics is like different in that moment, which I thought was really, really interesting. And the most interesting fact for me was that if that vehicle that was randomly selected and pushed off the road hits another citizen's car, that car in turn too will like fly off the track, if I want to call it like that, right? And that is something that I was like, wow, that is so real. It's so much realism in the game. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just really going to come into play how we, decide how to make our road layouts, how we design our cities, how we plan our cities to make the driving environment as safe as we can. But I also do wonder if we're going to have some sort of vanilla functionality to turn off accidents, if that's not something that you really want to be managing. So I'm curious to know if we're going to have some availability to turn that off if we want to. But I'm going to be excited to play with it, at least at the beginning, just because it's new. And I also think it's going to show us, like, have we planned our city well? Did we do a good job? So that's going to be really fun to see. The other thing that was so exciting was the parking AI.
God. Yes. So I love the fact that parking plays apparently a major role in Cities 2 and the traffic and the citizen behavior and everything, right? So we got parking as basically one of the four main aspects of the pathfinding, which I thought was really, really amazing. The cost of the parking lots, citizens take that into account. The availability of the parking lots is also taken into account, like how many parking spots are there and how good is parking once the citizen reaches their destination. Like I just think it's so amazing that parking itself is going to play such a big role in the game, actually.
Right. Yeah. And even just like we were talking before with the comfort, the money and time with the different age groups and different preferences, that's going to all come into play with where they decide to park, because a younger person might be willing to park farther away because they don't mind walking. Whereas a senior citizen or, someone that has accessibility issues, which I know we probably won't have in the game, but it's something you can imagine. And because it's a functionality, you can, plan your cities like you need to have parking that's right out front for them. So that's going to be interesting. And I wonder if there will be parking for handicap, because that's always been something that I've always thought about in my cities. And I know that we're talking about age groups and seniors are going to want that. So I wonder if that's just going to be something, or if it's just like you just need to make sure you have enough parking. I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, really, really curious. I do think that it's crucial to a city now, or then in Cities 2, it's crucial to a city to have enough parking, enough accessible parking as well, because it is like parking goes into each of those cost point, right? It's for comfort, time, money. That is, I think it's going to be really interesting to play with, and can be quite dangerous. Like if you forget to, provide enough parking spaces, I don't know if like an area could survive if citizens or the wealthier citizens that don't mind maybe a higher price during parking, if they just avoid that area, maybe. And then so maybe your shopping district is not going to get enough customers because there's not enough parking, but who knows?
And it looks like potentially on the roads themselves, we're going to be able to determine whether or not there's paid parking or free parking on the roads, which is looking really cool. So it's just again, we're adding another layer of complexity to the game, another thing that we need to think about when we're planning and designing our cities. And it just makes me even more excited for October to be able to get in and like, this is another thing. And I think there's going to be a big learning curve. Like we're going to have to figure this out. But it's very exciting to be able to all do that together at the same time, honestly. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I can't wait till October. Like, oh my God. The the info views I also thought are super interesting because now you have like separate toggles for traffic flow and the volume, which could be a bit misleading in Cities Skylines, but in Cities 2 apparently they're separated now, and you can make up problems in your road networks much more easy. It's just like the traffic flow that shows how smooth it flows or not, even like how not smooth the traffic flows. So I think that's really cool. And like a lot of volume doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Like in Cities 1 as well, like you have these like red areas on your roads, but that just indicates that there's a lot of traffic, not necessarily that it's backed up. So I think it's really cool that those views are like kind of split up. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it's going to be good to have the more info. And all the peaks that we're getting on these info views of everything just looks more in depth, more information. I'm here for it.
Yes, and rush hour, yes please, because high volumes of traffic can indicate rush hours as well. You have that little info view with the time, and I thought that was really amazing, like the traffic flow, and it shows that little chart of the time, and I thought that was really, really cool. So we actually have rush hours. So that is something like hours. You go by hours in the game, apparently.
So that's going to be really interesting how time works in the game too. That's kind of giving us a little insight into that. So I'm sure we'll get more information at some point on that. The other thing was the road conditions. The road info view also looked very unique, and like we're gonna get a lot more info than we ever have before, which is just, like I said, it's just exciting.
I also love the fact that the emergency service vehicles, like the police and the fire, that they have like some different types or some different rules that affect the pathfinding, right? So they're like more dangerous. They take more risk while driving than the citizens, because of course, police and fire and like medical trucks, they need to get to their destination fast. So it's probable that they will make like more of these illegal U-turns and just like cut in front of traffic in a roundabout faster. I love that in Cities 2, they actually fixed the behavior of these emergency vehicles to also like overtake slower cars, whereas in Cities 1 they would just like stick behind, they got the horns and the sirens going, and the citizen would just drive in front of them in their allowed speed, and the emergency vehicle would not overtake them. So I think that's really cool. Also that regular vehicles, the citizens, that they also try to make way on like multi-lane roads.
That is so exciting. I love that.
That's so amazing.
I love that. Anything that's like, be a courteous citizen, I love that.
Yeah, exactly. I also love that there's going to be these police patrols, which is like the cars are just patrolling around, but if they get called to like a crime, there's like an emergency, they can also just like, okay, we're not on patrol anymore, now we're responding to that emergency or to that crime, which that's like so cool. Again, the realism, it doesn't get better than that.
The other thing that I think all of this has been so exciting, but the thing I'm actually most excited about for me personally is the fact that it looks like we're going to be able to tell Like, we're going to put down a police station and we're going to be able to tell this police station only service the district we tell you to.
Yes.
Which is something you could only do in Cities 1 with a mod. And the fact that we're going to be able to do that in the game is so exciting for me, because my whole channel, I build pedestrian friendly cities. I really rely heavily on the 15-minute city concept, which is kind of hard to do realistically in Cities Skylines 1. But with this, it's just getting me more excited for October to build my first city based on the concepts I already used, because I'm going to be able to see it work in a more realistic way in real time, like you're saying. So that's going to be really exciting, that we're going to have that level of control over our service vehicles. And it's so exciting because we've only looked at the road tools and the traffic AI. We've got 11 more of these to go. And every week, I'm just so excited. And I'm like, okay, now we got to wait again.
Yeah, the waiting can get unbearable at times. 100%. It's just like, we need more information now. We need more. But yeah, that's concluding the developer diary on the traffic AI. If you out there saw anything that we missed, do let us know in the comments, and please tell us how you liked the traffic AI dev diary and what you think of this entire new pathfinding in Cities Skylines 2. Otherwise, if you want to hang out with me or Joy or an amazing community, I highly recommend you join the City of Friends Discord, where we hang out on a regular basis. The link is in the description below, of course. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Please stay safe out there. Bye-bye.